So, I'm making this video because I don't have anyone to talk to about this situation, and I don't even have my family to talk to. Because my mom's at work, working, and my dad, sister, and brother, well, they're pretty much dead to me, and things didn't end well. We didn't end on good terms. So, I'm all pretty much by myself. I don't have any friends in real life around here. But I'm not going to get into that. It's a weird place with weird people. So, speaking of weird people, well, thing is that the incident now, which I'll get to later in the video, kind of sparked me to do this video, as well as I don't have anyone to talk to, and I think that this is going to be the end of my life. And I'm pretty serious and somber here about this, and normally I wouldn't be. I mean, as much as I would like to yell and shout and be angry and stuff, I can't, because knowing when the end is coming is just gut-wrenching, and knowing that I'm probably going to be arrested for this, for killing someone, and this is being evidence of me admitting to planned, manslaughter or attempted murder or whatever the crime is, whatever, I don't care, but I don't plan on coming out of this alive, so. Alright, here it goes. Well, I'm in an apartment. I moved here at the beginning of last month, and everything was fine for a couple of weeks until something happened, like, 3 weeks into last month, the middle of last month, and this is what happened. I made a journal about this too, online, and asked for some advice, and also I make journals online, and I write stuff down online, like Notepad and Word and stuff, to keep my thoughts in order. So, it's like a record, a transcript. Well, here, I'll show you as proof. Just give me a second. Okay, it's on Word. Alright, here it is. It's on Microsoft Word. So, my neighbor from the apartment next door to me comes and knocks on my door and tells me that he's a guitarist and he writes music for me. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Summarize it as best I can. So anyway, okay, here we go. Yeah, he comes by and says that he apologizes for just, making a loud noise in his new equipment made, because he got new guitar equipment, like like an amp or a subwoofer or whatever. So he apologized if I heard a noise, and he asked me if I heard anything, and I said no, and he said okay, and we talked a little bit, and I asked him if he's been doing the music the entire time, and he said yeah, and I haven't heard anything, but that's because it's safe to assume that his equipment, he just got it, so yeah, the amps just makes his guitar louder and everything. So anyways, I tell him that I haven't heard a thing this entire time, without his equipment and him just playing the guitar. And so, yeah, and I tell him that I like it quiet, and he's been quiet so far, been quiet, so he knew, I told him that he likes it quiet, and that I liked it quiet. I mean, yeah, and then he says, yeah, he said he'll keep it down, and then he leaves. So, anyways, after a few hours later, at like 10:30, I hear him playing his guitar, making his music, and it becomes really, really loud. So I go over and let him know it's really loud, and turn it down, and knock on his door, and he answers it, and for like 5 seconds, I was like, I started to, get my sentence together and just tell him, hey, can you turn it down? And all of a sudden, his cat gets out. His cat's name is Acorn, by the way. So, it's a black cat, and he screams and shouts and pushes, past me, go after his cat down the stairs. He lives right next to, we both live on, this is a 2-story apartment, so I live on the 2nd story. He lives that way, so next door. Not across the hall from me, but next door. Pretty much, basically, our whole apartments connect, like the bathrooms, they're asymmetrical. So anyways, but I digress. So I go down and help him to try to get his cat from underneath, from underneath the cars for a few minutes, and for like 10 minutes I try to help him get his cat. He says to forget it, and then he storms back up the stairs, slams the door shut, and I spend like 20 minutes out there still looking for his cat, trying to get Acorn back inside. Well, then eventually he comes back out with his wallet, and then he says stuff to me like he's been here a long time, no one's had any complaints or anything, and that he's a bailiff. And he shows me his bailiff badge, which isn't even really a badge. It was more like a piece of paper that says Newport, Oregon. This person certifies he's a bailiff, with black and blue ink letters, and on the ID side of his wall, there's no picture, there's no badge, and on the other side I can see his credit cards and stuff. So I was sort of in shock, and I was like, I had to feel it hit in my stomach, and I was gut wrenching. I didn't, I don't like confrontations and stuff, and I don't even like stuff like that. It wasn't even really a confrontation, I guess. Depending on some people's opinion, they might say things could get a little hostile and stuff, but I was just sort of like, I was just shocked. I was just basically shocked. So yeah, I was kind of shocked. I didn't say anything. Flashes his wallet in my face, and he takes his wallet, he goes back inside, and he mumbles under his breath and tells me stuff like man up, and he's got to make a living, and a guitar, and that he utters again that he's a bailiff and stuff, and he tries to bully me. He tries to bully me into I guess not bothering him or something. I don't know, but I went over there because his loud music was bothering me, and he gave off the impression that if it was too loud that I could go by and tell him. So I went by and told him. And his cat getting out, that's not my responsibility. I mean, he's the one who should man up, and he let his cat out. And the thing is that there's more on that later. I mean, he's an ass for letting his cat out, because he was talking to my other neighbor. I'm probably getting a little ahead of myself, but he was talking about his other neighbor about his leaving the door open, and Acorn won't go out, which blatantly lied, because Acorn obviously wants to go out. And you know what? An asshole as that guy is over there, if I were his cat, I would want to get out too. I'd want to escape that asshole, because he's just the kind of guy that he just wants to be noticed. I mean, he's the kind of type of guy that initially ends up in jail because it's not that they're antisocial like me, but they're too social, and they get in everyone's business, and they just say the wrong things at the wrong time or something. And that's the kind of person he is. And he's like twice my age, and he has nothing to show. He has less to show for himself than I do, and I don't do anything. I just sit on my ass and watch TV shows, and play games all day. And I have a past too, a bad past, a good past, a little mixture of both. And I have some accomplishments, under my belt. But this guy, he has no life. He has nothing. He just goes around and bothers people. So, yeah, I know it kind of sounds like I was bothering him, but with his noise bothering me. But it's arbitrary. Who's to say what? The thing is that. Well, after this, it got worse. See, yeah, because I'm almost hitting the 10-minute mark, so I'll continue this in another video. But after this little incident, even though I left out a few details, you pretty much get the gist, the idea of what happened that night. So, yeah, that happened. So anyway, after that, the next day, or like 2 days later, I went in and talked to the housing authority here, and told them about it. And also, I told them about the problem I've been having downstairs with the lady, because this old lady downstairs had been having her TV up loud like all the time. So I'll continue that in just a minute. So I need to stop this and then make a part 2. So this is the end of part 1. Thanks for listening.